Hi, and welcome to this week's Motion Maker tutorial. This week we're going to be exploring the footprints template, which allows you to create footprints of different styles that will interact when people walk across a floor and leave a trail. The footprints template also includes some features for interactive waves, so an interactive water feature. So I'll just walk through all of the different options in the template and then we'll make something. Let's get going. I'm using LUMOplay Maker, which is the agency tier that allows you to publish as many custom apps using Motion Maker as you want to. This is a really great option if you're making a lot of different interactive effects for your clients, and it includes all of the most common interactive effects that we've made over the years. We do take requests, so if there is something you want to make and there isn't a template for it, you can visit our website at lumoplay.com and hop into the help section and click on the community forum and leave us a note and we will add it to our to-do list. So without any delays, this is the footprint template, and what I'm going to do is click on create. If you are starting to use Motion Maker for the first time, there are links to tutorials on every one of these templates. So I really encourage you to check out the tutorial before you start to make something, because it includes graphics, a downloadable folder of graphics that you can grab so that when you're making your project, it sort of eliminates some of the guesswork about what the size of your image should be and things like that. Once you click create, Motion Maker will open on your primary display. So if you have multiple displays connected to your computer, for instance, if your design computer is connected to your final installation with the projector, then you'll be able to test this directly on the floor and walk across it and see how your experience interacts. Right now I'm testing on a touchscreen. You can use a mouse like I just did and drag your cursor across the screen, or you can use your finger if you're using a touchscreen. As you just saw, the different footprints that are popping up here are, there's two different styles. So there's a person and a dog. This is one of the LumoPlay free effects that you can test with LumoPlay free. And I'm gonna just walk through all of the different options on the side that you can adjust to make your own effect by replacing all of these assets. So the first thing that you should do when you create a Motion Maker experience is name your effect, because Motion Maker will continually save what you've done. So if something happens, your computer crashes, we all have those days, it will save the app up until the point where you last changed it, and it'll be easier for you to find it if you've given it a name. So I'm going to call this No Footprints, because that's what we're going to make today. The first section that is customizable is the overlay section. I won't be doing anything in this section today, but this is where you would add things like logo images, a mask if you want to make your interactive effect into an irregular shape instead of having it be the full rectangle, an idle image, which is like a call to action that displays on the screen when nobody is interacting, and some settings for that idle image, whether or not it's animated, whether it's transparent, a lot of different options for just customizing the core value message on your app, the invitation to play, the start screen, whatever you want to call it. Then the next section is the background, and this is simply an image or a video. If you want audio, if you want a background music track in your game, you would put it into your video and then it'll just play on a loop. We typically recommend videos no longer than 3 minutes. 1 minute is preferred, but sometimes if your video doesn't loop seamlessly, you'll see a bit of a stutter. So 3 minutes is ideal at 1080p. And there is more information about the format of the video, such as the type of compression you should use, in the tutorial itself for each of the templates. So if you're interested in what kind of videos you can render and upload to LumoPlay, and also things like what the size limitations are, then you can find that information in the tutorial. And then the footprints themselves are simple images. We have a size recommendation, but it's not super strict. You want to have the left foot and the right foot on the same image with a little bit of a gap in between them, and you can have as many styles of footprints as you want to. what LUMOplay will do is it will guess when something starts moving in the area or touching the screen, whether or not that is an individual person. So if two people walk across a screen from sort of the same area at the same time, it might get confused and think that they're just one person. But as a general rule, it'll assign one of these sets of footprints to them and follow them all the way across the screen. This also interacts down here on the water section, so it might be hard to see, but it does create a little bit of a footprint effect inside the water, and also sometimes we'll have this nice ripple effect. So it's pretty subtle. You can adjust things like the footprint sizes. So this is going to apply to all of the images that you put in, but now I have huge footprints. You can make them much smaller. You can change the offset. You can change the distance between the footprints and how long they stay on the screen and how fast they fade away. So that it gives you a lot of really cool options so that you can really customize this to the size of your display. So if your interactive floor is only, say, 6 feet by 4 feet, you're probably going to want smaller footprints so that you get more of them when people walk by. And if you have a very large screen, you may want to change the spacing or the orientation a little bit so that they work well on your screen. So for instance, I made the footprints very tiny here, but I didn't adjust the gap between them. So you can adjust all of that stuff and make the footprints match the size of the actual final display that you're going to use. Let's just make those a little bit of a sensible size for the screen again. Change the offset. And if you get your settings kind of mixed up and you don't like where you are, you can also hit these reset buttons and that'll take you back to the defaults. The defaults were sort of designed based on 14 years of experience making these apps. We have a pretty good sense of what the average sizes and distances and things like that are going to be. So we set our defaults that way. The last option that you can change here is the animated waves. So that's what you see down here. You can adjust the position of where those waves are, so you can rotate them so that they fit along any of the sides of this display area. And you can also change the position. So if you wanted to have, half the screen taken up by waves, that's totally possible. And then the last thing that you can adjust, which I think is really, really cool, is the actual color. So you can match this to a brand color. You can make all kinds of really interesting effects by just changing the color. You also have the ability to just turn the waves on and off and turn the ripples on and off. So if you don't want to have that ripple effect, you can get rid of it. And then all you're going to see is the footprints fading into the water just sort of at the edge here. Again, this is kind of hard to see in a screen cap, but when it's projected on the floor, it's very easy to see. And it is a really subtle effect. So I'm going to go back to the background. What we're making today is going to be a snow effect. So we're not actually going to use the waves. So before I go back to the background, what I'll do is I'll turn the waves off. So we're just not going to use those at all for this effect. And I'm going to change my background to a snow video. There we go. It takes a second to upload, but now you can see that the footprints that I have do not match this background. And what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to get rid of the footprints that are part of the original template, and I'm just going to upload my own. Like I previously mentioned, you can have as many sets of footprints as you want to. So if you want to have a lot of different animals, or you want to have different sizes of feet, different brands of shoe, you can make an image for each one of the footprints that you want to use. Now, with the default settings, you can see that these footprints are quite large and they're very close together. So I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to adjust the footprint size and make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to adjust the footprint distance. That makes the footprints a little closer together. And then we'll change the offset a little bit and see if we can get them, there we go, get them to look a little bit more spaced out, like somebody that's actually trudging through the snow. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit more. Perfect. A little bit less of an offset. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now we've got footprints that are going across the snow. Now this template does not include audio, so if you want audio in the background, you can put it in the video, but you won't get like a crunching sound or anything like that with these templates. Some of our templates do have the option to add your own audio, but the footprints one isn't one of those. Just because actually timing the sounds to the feet to the interaction can be a bit tricky. So if you want something that includes, you know, extra features, say you wanted the snow, you wanted to be able to kick the snow, you wanted to make a noise when people are moving, those are the types of things that you would contact us and place a custom order. So if you want to do that, just visit lumoplay.com, let us know about your project, give us your timeline, let us know if you're making the graphics or we are, and we can turn around a quote usually within 24 hours. Now that I have the footprints the way I want them to be, and I've got my animated waves turned off, I'm pretty much done making this effect. So all I need to do is save it and then close this screen by just pressing this little X here. And that'll take me back to my drafts folder where I can publish my app. So I'm just going to click publish. It'll give you a little warning because when you publish your app, you can no longer edit it. I'm going to say OK, and it'll upload it to our server where you'll be able to access it from every LUMOplay installation that is running from your account. Once your app is uploaded, you'll receive a notification that your app was published successfully, and it will disappear from your drafts folder. Now you need to go into the apps section of the software, so just click on apps. And you can search for the Motion Maker app that you've made by name. So I can go and search snow footprints. You can see that we've done this a few times, so there's a couple different versions. The last version is always going to be at the end here. So download that and you'll be able to load it and play it on any of your installations. I hope you enjoyed this week's tutorial. Sharing, liking, commenting, and engaging with this video in any way really helps our team. We're really small and we sell our software at cost, and we would really like to help people with their projects and bring the cost of interactive experiences down for everybody. But we need your help. We don't invest in marketing, so anything that you can do to share what we've created, give us comments, let us know what you want us to build. We're extremely responsive to our community and we love to hear from you. Please stay tuned for next week's tutorial, which is coming out next Tuesday. Thanks.